Okay, so the disassembly is pretty straightforward. The reassembly is a little bit more complicated. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is take the extractor and place it in the firearm. Okay, like so. Then we will take the extractor spring and plunger and make sure that this little notch here fits into the extractor like so. Should press against the extractor. Okay. So I'll put the extractor in and then line it up so that it'll fit. And you can see it went in. There it's not going. That's all the way in. Right there. You want to make sure that you see the plunger area here against the extractor. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the rear sight assembly, insert the very small and delicate spring and the drop safety. Make sure those are seated all the way down. Okay. Take it and start it down into the groove. And then use a small punch on the extractor plunger. And it drops right in. Okay. Pull up and down and make sure it doesn't move. And there we go. And you can see how the firing pin stop actually works. This piece here is it. So when you pull the trigger, it presses up on this sheet metal piece and pushes this part here out of the way. That part prevents the firing pin from moving forward. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is take the firing pin, and you can see this recess here is for the roll pin that we punched out first. Okay, and then this part here is for the firing pin stop. Okay, so the firing pin actually needs to go in like so, so that the roll pin will actually go through. Actually, the cutout needs to be on the far side, so that when you put the roll pin in, it'll fit. So I will go ahead, roll this upside down, rotate the firing pin in the right orientation so it sits like so. And I will press down on the firing pin stop with the drop safety. Make sure that that lines up vertically. And press it. And then make sure it's captured in the rear there. And you can actually see part of the groove, or part of the firing pin there. Okay, the firing pin usually doesn't protrude that much. Okay, so you have to depress it a little depress the firing pin when inserting the roll pin. And this can be a little bit tedious if you don't get it lined up straight the first time. So what I'll do is I'll take it, pressing in on the firing pin, and slowly starting this roll pin. I don't think it's quite lined up. Alright, so I'll give this another try. Got the firing pin lined up. Just going to slowly use the back of a punch to press it in and to press down on the drop safety. Push in on the firing pin. I'm going to push down on the firing pin stop. Make sure it doesn't drag anywhere and rotate. So that's in there good. I'll look through here and see if it's lined up. That should do it. So I'll take the roll pin and the punch and depress the firing pin so that's not in the way of the roll pin. And being careful, I'll slowly tap the roll pin in. Okay. And that got it most of the way. And I'll use my larger punch and you can hear the sound difference when it bottoms out. So that roll pin is all the way in, and it's right there at the bottom, and the firing pin moves freely. Okay, and when I press down on the drop safety, firing pin doesn't shoot out the back. And what I'll do is press down on the back of the firing pin and make sure it doesn't protrude out of the firing pin channel here. If you press on the back of the firing pin and it comes out here, you've done something wrong and it's not safe. So then the next thing I'll do to test and make sure it's assembled right is press down on the firing pin, press down on the stop, okay. You can see it's not protruding out. If I press down on the firing pin stop here, We'll go a little bit further and you can actually see the firing pin protrude. If I come back, the drop safety locks and it doesn't come out. So that's the reassembly of it. And we'll put the barrel back in, take the guide rod and spring, place those back in, take the frame, put it on the slide. Okay, that's reassembled. Alright, what I'll do is I'll take a pen, put it inside the gun, okay, making sure that the chamber's clear and empty. Okay, no magazine, so it's safe to fire. And what I'll do is I will pull the trigger, making sure the pen's against the back, and make sure that it goes forward. If it doesn't go forward, then that means that the gun will not fire when you have real ammunition in it. If the pen moves forward, then we know that we've reassembled the firearm in the correct way. Hope this helps. If there's any questions, feel free to comment or PM me, and I will respond as fast as I can.